Our top story today from thegatewaypundit.com. Democrats embrace pure evil. Bernie Sanders teams up with a transgender punk rocker performing a blasphemous, explicit song saying, "Does your God have a big fat TICK? Because it feels like he's effing me." Yikes. We're covering this new development and so much more here on the Gateway Pundits Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundits Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. We had a very interesting story come out of a Bernie Sanders rally. This thing, more like an it, as you might say. The Democratic Party has once again revealed its true colors, embracing radical anti-Christian extremism, as Senator Bernie Sanders invited a transgender punk rocker to perform a vile, blasphemous song at his rally in Kenosha, Wisconsin on Friday night. Sanders, a self-described Democratic socialist and former presidential candidate, was in Kenosha as a part of his nationwide Fighting Oligarchy tour. Sanders invited Laura Jane Grace, a transgender punk rocker and frontperson of the band Against Me, to perform at his rally. He was born Thomas James Gable. It's funny, as Bernie Sanders himself has taken an uncanny amount of money from pharmaceutical companies. I'm looking at my AP over there, and it's true, right? Take a lot of money from these pharmaceutical companies. A lot of money. I think you could also unmute yourself as well. You can probably hear yourself. You're probably channel 4, But it's like, he did take a lot of money, and I feel like he took millions of dollars, actually, and he tried to downplay it when he was confronted about it during a Senate hearing. But he did take millions of dollars. Am I right?
He took a lot of money, and he also had a breakdown, as he said, as soon as RFK called him out. He could see him kind of having like a meltdown at that moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, he's been raking in the money, just like a lot of the other politicians that we have right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and what's good about that is then on top of that, he goes, hey, I'm actually going to invite a transgender rocker, because what's better than taking money from pharmaceutical companies is then mocking God, because when they said that only God could sink the Titanic, well, look what happened there. Check this out. Does your God have a big fat dick? 'Cause it feels like he's fucking me. Or is balls filled with lightning to make tangle like heaven? Okay. I don't like to give too much credence to these people. I find them to be absolutely ridiculous. That being said, obviously the world's smartest investors are obviously probably not blaspheming God. Not a good way to do it, but they also aren't in buying oil stocks right now. They're also not investing in the stock market, and they're not investing in crypto. They're actually collecting what's called mailbox money from oil royalties instead. I'm talking about passive income that shows up month after month, starting with as little as $25. Visit ElijahOil.com, that's ElijahOil.com, to discover how to tap into monthly royalty checks from America's most productive oil basin. Now, you don't need to be wealthy or connected. People don't know, and I've mentioned here, I am an oil baron. I do get checks. It's like, I don't even know what it is. It's so low. It's like $30. It's sometimes like $60 because my family was wealthy. They still are wealthy, but my mom decided to leave Catholicism and join Protestantism, and somehow we got cut off from the family wealth. Was it worth it? Well, I'll tell you this. Get back into becoming an oil baron. Get your oil royalty checks by investing in real crude resources. It's not going anywhere, despite what they say. You don't need to be wealthy or connected. You just need a regular brokerage account. That's ElijahOil.com, ElijahOil.com, to learn how you can start collecting oil royalty checks every month. Links on the screen and in the description. Now, that being said, in defense news, Pete Hegseth delivers a savage response to Pentagon officials and experts whining that cutting climate change programs will harm national security. Colin Linebarger reports, the shift from Lloyd Austin to Pete Hegseth as a defense secretary has proven to be one of the biggest upgrades in American history, and a statement issued by Hegseth today drove that point home even further. As Gateway Pundit readers know, the Trump administration has taken Elon Musk and Doge to downsize the federal government. So far, Doge has saved taxpayers $105 billion. Now, many of the programs slashed include DEI and climate change programs. These have been rampant within the Department of Defense for decades, contributing to its inability to pass on audit. On Sunday, far-left CNN published an article using unnamed sources to push a narrative that the Pentagon eliminating climate programs will damage national security. I think they're stuck on the word climate and not seeing the operational impacts. One unnamed official told CNN that he also claimed that the cuts will pose readiness issues all around. Inaction at this point will put our readiness and the lives of our troops and their families at greater risk, whined Dr. Ravi Choudhury, former Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Energy. Pentagon press secretary John Ulyott rightfully disputed this garbage claim, telling CNN that the DoD is working closely with Doge to identify efficiencies and savings in departments on behalf of taxpayers while we restore the warriors' ethos and refocus our military on its core mission of deterring fighting and winning wars. Climate zealotry and other woke chimeras of the left are not part of the core mission. Upon seeing Ulyott's response, Hegseth decided to give his own thoughts with a savage statement that would thrill conservatives across America, saying, "John is of course correct. The Department of Defense does not do climate change crap. We do training and war fighting." And that's quite true. It is pretty remarkable to see the Department of Defense doing what they said. You know, it's sort of that same feeling when you walk into like Starbucks and they're like, "We love gays," you know, like trans flags. "We want you to cut your balls off." And you're like, "Well, I just came here for coffee." You know, and I'm not it's not the same thing as being offended by like going into a Chinese restaurant and they have like a Buddha and you're like, "Well, I'm a Christian." Look, it's a religious values, right? It's a religion. And you kind of you respect people have different belief systems. You know, I don't really, but you know, some people do. But, you know, mental illness isn't really a belief system, right? Cutting your balls off is like kind of just, it means like you're promoting harming humans. Like, it's like if you put on your wall, like, "I like to murder kids." It's like, okay, well, I don't know if that's really going to help your business. We need to start promoting LGBTQ nonsense something that damages businesses, not just even neutral. We kind of did it with Target and a lot of these companies. People started boycotting them, and a lot of people ditched their DEI and their LGBTQ stuff. Look, I know gay people, you know, I don't have a problem with a lot of these people existing and whatever, and, you know, I'm friends with them. But the whole homosexual celebration, you know, where you got to like put it in everyone's faces, it's just kind of ridiculous. You know, the whole two gays in a bed is conservative thing. I mean, look, just don't be conservative. I don't get it. Just say you're not a conservative. Just say you're not a conservative. Say you're liberal. All right? With that being said, a reporter asked President Trump if he regrets putting Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett on the bench. It's a good question, actually. On Sunday, President Trump answered reporters' questions aboard Air Force One as he returned to the White House from Palm Beach. Trump discussed a possible government shutdown, his decision to cut off sharing intel with Ukraine, the future of TikTok, and more. One reporter asked President Trump that if he regrets nominating Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Trump supporters attacked Amy Coney Barrett after she sided with liberal justices last week. The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, denied the Trump administration's request to vacate Judge Amir Ali's Troe, forcing the administration to pay $2 billion in foreign contracts. So crazy, right? It's so crazy. Well, we have the interview for you that was on Air Force One. Yeah, he had quite a good conversation and said what he thought. Listen.
Many of your supporters are concerned about your supporters are attacking SCOTUS Justice Amy Coney Barrett. You put her on the bench. They're saying she's a DEI hire. Do you regret putting her on the bench?
Look, she's a very good woman. She's very smart. And I don't know about people attacking her. I really don't know. I think she's a very good woman. She's very smart.
Very smart and didactic. I like that idea. Do you regret having her? Look, I think she's a very smart woman. He regrets it, right? He regrets it. He does. He's like, crap. I think he got a lot of bad advice. He's still getting a lot of bad advice, right? Like, nobody wants anti-Semitism. I don't want anti-Semitism. I don't like the anti-Semitism that's happening in our country. You know, I don't think Jewish students should feel unsafe, but you know, do we really need the DOJ and, you know, Department of Defense and Secretary of State, you know, whole State Department coming together to like deport people for free speech because they, you know, support Hamas? I don't really know if we need to go that far. And I don't like Hamas, you know what I mean? And I think you're a jackass if you support Hamas. I really do. It's like such a stupid position to take. But it's like, I don't think you should be deported just because you like use your free speech, you know, to support some group I don't like. As long as you're not like physically supporting them. Like, I understand sending money to a terrorist organization, you could get in trouble legally. But that's not deportation. It's like a wire transfer fraud or something like that. I don't even know what that'd be under. I just feel like the administration's always meddling in things it shouldn't. Even if it has good intentions, I just feel like sometimes it just goes a little bit in the wrong direction. Now, that being said, and quite interestingly enough, the world's smartest, as we talk about this, we talked about the world's smartest investors really not investing in oil stocks. But I do want to point out on top of that, many of you guys know particularly that we have been talking about a product that is better than anything. It's called Purge. You can get it at purgestore.com. Now, this is not just any type of gut cleanse. This is a parasite gut cleanse. One of the main reasons why you should check this out is, as I have figured out consistently, is that if you've eaten sushi or you have problems with your gut, or maybe you think you have IBS or there's something going wrong with you, well, you might actually be infected with parasites. And there are natural ways that you can get rid of them, but you have to buy the items in bulk. And it's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get all the stuff that you need. Well, what this company did is they decided they would heal people's gut health intentionally by putting all of these amazing health products that are all natural into one set of pills. Now, I know multiple people that have actually used this product and they've cured their indigestion, their problems with their gut health. They thought they had autoimmune disorders, but they were really just infected with parasites. Use promo code Elijah, ELIJAH, at purgestore.com. Get 20% off the product. It's actually so good. Be near a bathroom when this is happening. But this will really, really, really help you. Plus, it doesn't just say proprietary blend on the back. It gives you everything that's in it, right? So some people just say proprietary blend, and you don't know if you're getting the real products. This has everything you need. Get your gut health back where it needs to be. If you've been having gut problems, constipated, maybe you've been, too much. Either way, purgestore.com, promo code Elijah. Now, that being said, Representative Anna Paulina Luna teams up with AOC to take on greedy credit card companies. Well, it turns out that Representative Anna Paulina Luna has found an unlikely ally in her bid to take on credit card companies. The second-term Congresswoman has worked together with Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to ban credit card companies from charging more than 10% interest. Together, the two women introduced legislation on Friday that would see this rule come into effect. We have the clip for you here on the Credit Card Competition Act type of thing. Check this. Let me see if we can check this out. They have a clip here, and it's kind of interesting. Here we go. They brought this up, and we need to make sure that we know what's going on. I guess the video won't play, so I'll just read to you the statement. For too long, credit card companies have abused working class Americans with absurd interest rates, trapping them in an almost insurmountable amount of debt. We need a fair solution, and that means getting rid of the status quo and putting a reasonable cap on interest rates. Now, look, I agree with this. We need to cap things down to 10%. We need to end the duopoly that is going on with Visa and MasterCard. And most importantly, even AOC added that credit cards with high interest rates regularly trap working people in endless cycles of debt at a time when families are struggling to make ends meet. We cannot allow big banks to shake down our communities for profit. During his campaign, President Trump pledged to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. We're making that pledge more than talking point by introducing legislation to protect working people from remaining trapped under mountains of debt. It's not the first time that such bipartisan legislation has been put forward, and Donald Trump repeatedly endorsed the idea during his presidential campaign. Republican Senator Josh Hawley and Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders have previously introduced similar legislation, most notably a 2019 bill that would have capped rates at 15%. I really hope they figure that one out, honestly. Lastly, say thank you, Secretary of State Rubio and Elon Musk put Polish defense minister in his place after fake controversy over Starlink usage by Ukraine. In an unprecedented exchanges on social media platform X, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Doge head and ex-owner Elon Musk heavily chastised warmongering Polish minister Radoslaw Sikorski over the issues of Ukraine usage of Musk's Starlink terminals. Rubio reached the point of asking the minister to say thank you because Starlink terminals kept Russian forces away from Polish border. It is about time that the foreign nations, NATO members, our allies, respect us. For too long, I was listening to Schellenberger, the journalist, and he was saying what I've been saying for a while. Too long have Europeans sneered and jeered at us, mocking gun crime in our country when really we don't have a gun problem. We have a race problem, right? The crime is primarily Hispanic and black gangs, primarily black, violence, not just gangs. Reminding you that that's just a fact, not a racial statement. If we removed black and Hispanic gun violence from the United States, we'd be safer than Norway. So it's and it's true, man. When you live in a Jewish, Caucasian, or Asian neighborhood, you don't really suffer with gun crime in this country. You just don't, You suffer with other things. Maybe in an Asian neighborhood, your neighborhood Ralph's turns into Shangsheng Market and smells like fish. But I mean, Asians are pretty calm, peaceful people. They're not, not known to be very violent. But the same thing goes as well with these Europeans. We often think they're our allies, but they mock us and they're like, oh, you guys are all dumb and poor. And it's well, you guys always have your social medicine and stuff, but it's because you don't pay for defense. Now we pay for your defense, and this toxic relationship does need to come to an end. So sorry, Europe, it does. I don't want to abandon the white Western world, right? I don't want to abandon our allies, but I just think that, if they're going to jeer at us and mock us and, talk crap on us while not paying their fair share in this relationship, then we need to end it. Just like we're seeing with Canada, we'll have to take care of it once and for all. I'm Elijah Schaffer. Don't forget, since I have so much social media, I've like centralized all my social media. You guys are always messaging me. Please follow me. Just follow me there at ElijahSchaffer.locals.com. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to join. It's just like any social media. It's my name, ElijahSchaffer.locals.com. And the reason why I'm promoting this one is because this show's on Rumble, and this is like a Rumble social media app, and you can follow my updates there. I appreciate it. And if you join there, it's like kind of cool because you get behind the scenes updates and stuff like that. But most importantly, if you want to financially support the Gateway Pundit, one of the easiest ways that you're going to do so is by getting one of these mugs and joining our mug club at thegatewaypundit.com. There's a great mug. It works well. I only have one of them because I don't have a sink in my studio, so I just use these disposable cups because, like Pete Hegseth, I don't do climate change. Have a great rest of the week as always, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.